Okay, welcome to the conversation by Aamito. First of all, thank you for doing this. Thank you for honoring this. I didn't expect you to do it.
Oh my gosh, of course. Thank you for having me.
I've been listening to you for some time. So, brief history, people know you, Africa's top model. And so I was having a conversation with my friends about that. Now, the thing that stands out is the success that comes from that, right? Like, how do I see it from a Ugandan perspective that Aamito is a successful model? My ancestry different blogs. Like, how do you define your success? In terms of your personal values? Yeah.
I really don't think I'm successful yet. I guess I'm over-ambitious in that sense.
Yeah.
When it comes to there's things that I've done that are great, but I think like I haven't reached that pinnacle where it's like, oh my gosh, where I can tell myself, oh my gosh, because my dreams are always evolving. I'm satisfied, I'm grateful, but my dreams are always evolving. And when I get to a certain point, I'm like, okay, I've achieved that, that's great. For myself, what's next? Where should I go next, right? Or where is my purpose leading me? And so success, I guess, is a strong word. Maybe I need therapy for that because, I don't really see that as success.
But I mean, you have achieved almost, you've had contracts that any other person looking out to do what you do would want to have. Mm-hmm. It's like, you don't find that as successful.
Yeah, I guess, now that you put it that way, I guess that is success in a way. But in terms of seeing it, it's like little incremental steps to a goal, right? It all didn't come in one night. I mean, it started when I was 16 and I'm in my 30s now. So it's little incremental steps towards a goal. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the industry is big. You're an actor, right?
I am an actor, yes.
I watched the movie. Really impressed. Well done.
Thank you.
First, tell us about your experience with Hollywood.
Well, my experience is very little with Hollywood, but before acting necessarily, I did commercials as a model, and that really exposed me to a lot of actors. I've been in a lot of advertising campaigns with actors, and that was like my little glimpse into Hollywood. But that being said, I'm just starting that journey, so I really can't speak on my experience that much. But I know that there's been lots of models or lots of actors now who started as models and transitioned into really great actors. So
is it the trend? Because every model I know becomes an actor or is an actor at the same time.
I don't know. It's just part of being a creative person, right? Like a lot of actors are singers. Did you know that? Yeah. Like a lot of them can sing, they can act, they can model, like it's an all-round creative personality, I guess. Yeah.
I just recently found out that Kiefer Sutherland is a singer in the band.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Really interesting, right? Yeah. I know Anne Hathaway is such a great singer. She has a strong voice, and I was shocked to find that out. She's also a really good actor, so yeah. Now,
in terms of diversity and inclusion, seeing as you have grown up your whole life here, right?
Yes.
Did education here, then have to work out of here. How has the transition been for you? And yes, things you state out, like outstanding for you, the diversity of culture.
It's really not been that easy. You almost have to assimilate, right? It's not been that easy. It's like learning something from nursery school, because when you go into like a new culture, you kind of have to understand how it works, how they think and all these things. And then you have to learn or take on some things that they do, whether positive or negative, and leave out the rest, right? So it's not been that easy, but I'm also so grateful for being born and raised in Uganda and the foundation that I got before going out into the world, because that has made me see things in a different perspective. And I think it is an advantage, but again, it is a disadvantage rather, but again, it can work for you in terms of your ideologies, your morals, things that you can do and cannot do, or want to do and are offered. So I choose to see that in positive light. And I think for the most part, I'm really thankful. I was born and raised here and then went out there to work.
Has that helped?
Like I said, my ideologies, the way I think about stuff is not too personal. And that can be helpful in success. You almost have to be blind to what other people say if you have a goal in mind. Or what other people think. That has really helped me not also to see cues. I'll give you an example. I think Trevor Noah says this a lot. He says, I didn't know I was a black person until I moved to the US. I have the same story. I really didn't know I was a black person because in Uganda, I'm just a person, right? I'm not black or white, but in the US, you are defined by the color of your skin. And so there is a bit of a hesitance that comes with that. And sometimes you can just tell yourself subconsciously, like, oh my gosh, that's not for me. I cannot go for that. But I didn't have that limitation because I grew up here. I grew up in Uganda. I didn't have that limitation of like, I grew up seeing the people that I idealized are black, you know. I grew up seeing that, and there's not a lot of those experiences in the US. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, speaking of that, actually, I read I think the second Instagram post about was that you see life, you don't see the world in a monochrome.
Yes, I don't see the world in a monochrome. Yeah, it's very monochromatic, actually. What I find in my experience in the US, it's like you're either black or white, and you can either do this or that. But I don't really see that because of still the way that I was raised. I just see myself as a person, and I see myself, or I see the world with different colors, right? There's varieties to everything. And yeah, I'm thankful for that perspective that kind of my upbringing has given me.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Now, still about Hollywood, now that you know so little, right?
Yes, I do know so little.
But your mind is so big, at least you've had other people's experiences.
Yes, a lot of research, a lot of observation.
Yes, so but it's still known to have, like, Hollywood holds power to some certain people, right? And then it's such a big issue for others to make it up. How do you want to navigate that? I think the mindset helps a lot. If you kind of don't see obstructions before you, if your subconscious helps you not see a hindrance in front of you, you just kind of tend to go. Even if you get like a block in between, you'll find a way to kind of maneuver around it. That helps me, and that helps me say things like, I don't care, even if there's no one, like, I'm gonna go ask, like, what, there's nothing wrong with asking. Like, I'm gonna go find out, I'm gonna write an email, I'm just gonna see what happens. If they say no, fine, but at least, like, I've given it my shot, I've tried, whatever, you know. So I think that's my mindset going into Hollywood. Like, of course, I know it's not easy. Of course, there's hundreds and thousands of talented people out there. There's so many, it's crazy. But my mindset is, I'm just gonna go and see what happens. Yeah. You do really keep a very positive mindset. I was listening to your conversation with Kapshenga as well. So most of your mantra is just go and do it. Just go. Then when you are doing the reality show, you say to yourself every day that you're going to win. Yes. I don't believe that. I'm really psycho. That is a psycho move. Like, I re-listened to the thing. I was like, oh my gosh, did I just say that? But I literally did say that to myself every single day
From the time I entered the house. You remember I was wearing, I think, a pink jacket or something. From that moment, I said to myself, I am the winner of Africa's Next Top Model. And I've moved on and I've gone ahead with that kind of mentality. It's sort of, the way that I would describe it is sort of like a naivete of sorts. Like there's nothing in front of me. Like this is what I want. This is what I'm stating. This is the universe. Like you've heard what I want. That's it. There's no plan B. Like that's it. Yeah. So I choose to be naive in that sense.
How do you, because it's possible this comes with also getting a lot of feedback from like, we publish on the internet and people give feedback. So how do you cut that out, the negativity from your mind? How do you just focus on what's positive?
I go inwards. Because everyone has an opinion about you. I mean, people have had opinions about me since I was young, you know? So everyone is going to say something about you, but you go inwards. You look deep inside your heart. When someone says, are you a mean person? You go inwards and like, no, I'm not a mean person. Yeah. I'm kind. I'm nice. I'm grateful. I'm not a mean person. You go inward and really search deep down inside of your heart and pull out the good things that you like about yourself. And those are the things that you focus on. Yeah. And you just, keep on telling yourself you deserve everything. You deserve the world.
Someone who has really gotten to your level and achieved the amount of fame you have.
Oh my gosh, that's such a huge...
Be so humble like you are. Like, that's why I didn't expect you to reply. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'd think, how have you managed the fame from the lifestyle to keeping you grounded? Because now I know your story. I know that you come from a humble background, right? So you're humble by default. Life threw that at you. How didn't you split that from getting the fame? How did you manage not to
go crazy? Yeah. I have very, on a lighter note, I have a very realistic family. My niece is right behind you, but yeah, they keep me really realistic on a lighter note. But on a more serious note, I think I'm not very, I don't like the word humble. You know why? Because it feels like even though you've achieved all these things, even though you are exposed to all these things, you decide to like distance yourself away from them and be like, I don't like that or whatever. But I think the word is more grateful. I'm grateful for where I am today. That's the word that I like to, that's what I resonate with. Because for me, humble will mean like, like I explained, like distancing yourself from all the things that you've experienced, blah, 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 blah. But don't be fooled. I like, very nice things. So I don't know if that makes me humble or whatever, but also I'm quite realistic. And I'm quite grateful. I'm always grateful.
Do you think fame has affected your personal identity?
A little bit. A little bit. I don't think I'm the same person I was 13 years ago. I've been able to experience really amazing and really traumatic things throughout my life from the time I left home and went abroad. But yeah, I think it has shaped me into a better person, for better, for worse, right? My taste is different. I've evolved in different ways, shapes and forms. And so, it has changed me. My experience with life has changed me.
One of some of those hard times you've dealt with that have reshaped your perspective to life, things you can spot out and be like, okay, this situation maybe.
I think rejection. The industry that I'm in, the fashion industry, is so full of rejection, and it's every day. I think I also mentioned that during the interview with Robert, and I said every day is a job interview. So when you go, you meet clients, they send you to things they call castings. So it's a job interview. You're either gonna get it or you're not. And most of those castings, you don't get them. So you can do Fashion Week that has maybe, let's say, 20 fashion shows in a city. So New York Fashion Week has about 20 fashion shows in a city. You attend all the castings, but you get only one or two. And that puts a damper on your self-esteem, right? But I think the constant rejection has made me a stronger person. Like, throw whatever you can at me. Like you can't be any worse than someone who says, oh, I don't like Aamito because she has a weird lip, or she's, like things that you really cannot change about yourself. So yeah, rejection has made me a stronger and I think better person and a lot deeper. So yeah.
Speaking of that, from like the bit of rejection, also comes insecurities, right?
Absolutely, 110%.
So, what is now happening with people like you who have made it? You make your insecurities the normal standard. Say, like you design clothes, or they'll design clothes about you for people who look like you, because then that becomes the standard for everyone else. Then we get people trying to live their lives, the people that you inspire, right? Try and then live their lives just chasing that. Say, clear example is like, say, Kim Kardashian, right? Go do surgery and do not. Then that becomes a trend for every other girl that's living here. Did you find that some sort of disadvantage in the world we live now?
Can you rephrase the question?
How you guys deal, famous people in this case.
Oh my gosh, when you say famous, I'm just like, ooh, that is not, I'm not that famous. I'm known, but I'm
so
not.
So famous means, see, Kanye West is famous, right?
Right, yeah, he is famous. He's a celebrity.
Life of Pablo. That makes you famous.
Okay, but yes, that was nice, right? That was nice. I forgot about that. Oh, okay. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. So when it comes to famous people and their insecurities, so they turn their insecurities to become the industry standard. And that comes at a big cost for everyone else they're looking at too. And this is like an issue that whole entertainment industry. This is not just dressing. This is how I speak. Most of how I speak to my peers is defined because I grew up in a fairly okay home, so I had to listen to the Jay-Z.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That is so much real estate in my mind about life, right? It's what I have learned. This is why I believe life, maybe that's what I find cool. Kanye West defined my whole concept of being cool.
Right.
Yeah. So, but some of the things he does could probably be rejected by society because he's a human being, right? So the question there is, do you also think your insecurities should be a standard, or what do you think about other people that make their insecurities?
Oh my gosh, that is crazy to think that. Yeah. Don't you think? It is crazy to think my insecurities should be a standard. Absolutely no. Listen, because of the industry that I've been in, some of the things that I'm really insecure about are my body.
Yeah.
Because of the constant rejection about my body. I have that insecurity, which, let me say, I go for therapy to kind of help me with that. But it comes with the territory, right? I don't think that my insecurities should be a standard. However, I think that there are things that I can do to help with my insecurities. So for example, if I am insecure about my body, like I said, and if I say have a eating disorder, for example, if you have bulimia, you can seek therapy for that. You can ask for help. And if you're insecure about your body, you can go to the gym to kind of help you sort of change your body in ways that you can make it better for yourself, right? So there are things that you can do to help yourself with your insecurities. So that's same sentiment goes for surgeries and stuff like that. Of course, not a lot of people can afford the things that Kim Kardashian does, but there are ways that they can help themselves with whatever insecurities they have, I guess.
When you're in Africa's Top Model,
yes,
yeah, doesn't that then make you like the body standard for? Isn't that fulfilling enough for you not to feel any type of way about your body?
Okay, so Africa's Next Top Model is just the start. That is not even like a tip of the iceberg. I think the real work, like that was nothing. The real work started when I moved to New York. And in Africa's Next Top Model, they were slightly lenient, they were okay, but in the real world, like a fashion designer is not going to make you an outfit that only fits you, right? They're going to make standardized, and if you don't fit in the outfit, too bad. Now, I'm an African girl. I have wide hips naturally. Am I going to cut off my hip bone? No. But those things made me feel insecure because they refused to give me jobs because they were like, sorry, she has wide hips, she can't fit in the tiny dress, you know? So it's not enough. Unfortunately, when you go out in the world, there's a lot of competition. There's other girls who are skinnier than you, so it's not enough. It does cause a little bit of insecurity there. Yeah.
Now, the same industry also now suffers so much of exploitation, mostly for women.
Yes.
Right? We recently had the Me Too campaign come through.
Yes.
Wondering what your thoughts are on that.
Well, do you know that I'm so glad we're in an age of technology and we're in an age where we can voice our opinions. We are able to talk about stuff that has happened to us. And I'm so grateful for campaigns like Me Too that, you know, helped women talk about their traumas. That was so important. And so because of stories like that, there is hope for you know, for the movement and for women and for the exploitation that goes on behind closed doors.
Yeah, there is ethical consideration in the entertainment industry still, seeing as you're an actor, what the movies sell now to like a culture like ours, right? Right now we have the parliament debating the anti-homosexual bill because that represents so much of what other people think. Could be right or wrong, yeah? It's their feeling. But then we have Netflix.
Yes.
Accessible to anyone, right? I can just tune in and watch what I want. So one day I was watching Netflix with my dad, and there was this scene where a guy kissed a guy. So he spent the whole day giving me a whole lecture on what I should watch and what I should watch. So, but there's that. What do you feel about that type of gap between seeing as you've lived two cultures, right? You've lived here and you've lived in here.
Yeah.
What do you feel about that?
Do you
feel like the Western people expose or force their lifestyles on us? Do you feel like we copy everything from the West, good or bad? Do you think it's good or bad?
Colonization. That's my answer. Colonization. Yeah. I think that as Africans, we have copied everything that the Western culture has thrown to us, including our hateful nature. Like, I don't really think we were hateful people. Yeah, that's all I have to say on that topic. Yeah.
You don't think we're hateful people?
Sorry?
In what context, like hate?
No, like I don't think we were hateful in nature. I don't think we were judgy and we had like those characteristics, right? I think as African people, the reason as to why it was easy, I guess, to colonize us was because of our welcoming nature. And we ate up everything that they brought to us, you know? So this is a political issue, but on a personal note, I want to profess colonization. I'm really carefully choosing my words here. Colonization, and I don't think Africans are hateful innately.
So just in terms of cultural diversity, what things do you think you need to copy from that side to introduce you?
I don't think we need to copy anything. I don't think we need to really copy anything from anyone because everything has really been copied from us. I think we need to go back to our...
I never believed such a statement.
You really don't? Yeah. I think we don't. Like if you look at...
We've not made cars, we've not made phones.
No, but if you look at, say culture-wise, say music, right? Say food. Yeah. Like the international cuisines around the world, if you date them back, they all started from here. if you look at music, like rap music, if you look at, they all evolved into what they are, but they innately started from Africa. If you look at architecture, right? Yeah. If you look at writing, like literally everything started from here. And I know that's like a long time ago, blah, 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 whatever. But I think that if we trace back our roots and go back to the kind of people that we were, kind, welcoming, innovative, there's a lot more to gain. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think? I know you don't. You said you don't believe in that statement, but yeah, those are my thoughts.
I believe colonization was bound to happen if we're to get to another step. Like for us to.
What do you mean?
Colonization brought about civilization.
Ew. We were civilized before we were colonized. We were very civilized.
I don't think
we were.
What is
civilized? What is civilization? An organized community, right? We were organized communities before we were colonized. We were very organized communities.
We were lacking almost everything, like even access to the basic needs was known as easy.
But that's not true, though. We were organized communities. We had kings, we had leaders in our society, we had roles that people did in different societies. I mean, if you look at different African stories, I think that is the problem. Like, we haven't also been taught our stories as African people. And that's one of the reasons as to why I'm very interested in going to acting, is because I think it's really important to date back to learn our stories as African people. If you look at the new film that just came out, The Woman King, of course, there's controversies around the story, but look at, have you watched the film?
Yeah.
The Woman King. Yeah. That is an old story about African people. Look at how organized they were. Yeah. Look at how civilized they were. I think what you're trying to define is a definition, quote unquote, of civilization based on colonialism. But we were very civilized human beings. Sorry, I'm obsessed about this topic and I could talk about it forever, but
I want to listen to you.
Yeah, no, but we were up there. But I think what colonization, I can't speak, but what colonization did was make us think that whatever we created, whatever we had, was not enough. But it was enough. We were already up there. I don't know if you've heard of a story where the first C-section was done in Uganda.
Yes.
You've heard of that story? Can you imagine the first C-section was done in Uganda and then some white dude decided to take it to, abroad, those ends, and be like, okay, oh my gosh, now,
this is happening.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think the stories need to be had. African stories need to be told over and over again so that we could learn about our history and go back to the people that we were.
Is that the kind of direction your acting is still going to take?
Hopefully, if I'm able to get such opportunities, absolutely, I would be so grateful. But that is one of the reasons as to why I am interested in acting, so I can be a part of a group that tells African stories and tells them true. Like, what's her name? What's the writer? Chimamanda. Chimamanda says, the danger of a single story. Our stories haven't been told by us. That is why we have people thinking that we weren't civilized enough, because our stories haven't been told by us. If we told our own stories, we would know that we were a civilized community. It was them. They used not to shower, by the way. That thing still boggles my mind. They used not to shower.
Like, now,
ew. Yeah. On the internet, did you see all these people saying, I don't, ew, that's disgusting. Like, oh, that's gross. Like, oh, anyway. But yeah, they used not to shower. Let's start there.
Interesting.
Let's start there.
Do you feel like our stories would be relevant now with all the developments around?
120%.
Like, what would be the essence of telling the stories of our kings? And
so imagine.
First of all, most of these stories, when you listen to the cries the feminists say, most of them are mostly Bible. The Bible came with the colonialists. So most of the stories are centered around the patriarchy, right? They embody the man as the greater human being.
What do you mean, like African stories?
Yeah, most of them are around. That's the whole African setting.
Do you think?
Father is strong. I
No,
think so.
that came after that came with the colonialists.
Huh?
That came. Listen, I don't think. What do I know, right? What do I know? But with the little that I know,
Yeah.
I know that was emphasized with colonialism. When the colonialists came, during the time when the colonialists came to Africa, they were banning witches in Europe.
Yeah.
You know that, right? They were banning women. Like any herbalist, if you're a woman and you're a herbalist, they ban you. They're like, you're a witch, you don't need to be doing this. Any like midwife, they burn you. You don't need to be doing this. And after that, women were not allowed to be midwives, and then the men became doctors. So the men became gynecologists, and they were the ones who would birth babies, right? That is during the time when they came. And so when they came here, they found that, women had roles and women had active role. They were not passive citizens. And they were like, no, you can't let a woman, be in this meeting. She has to go back to the kitchen. I think that is when the patriarchy was really affirmed. It was during colonialism. That's why I said our stories are important, because we were not hateful people. We are not innately.
Will they remind us of
who we are? Absolutely, of who we are.
Do you feel like that has been taken away from us?
Absolutely.
And a big...
I think also my influence comes from living in the US, right? Having friends who are African American, listening to their stories, listening to their upbringing. That is part of my influence. And so that's why I think that returning back to who we are and kind of knowing ourselves and knowing our stories and retelling those stories over and over and over will help us become better people innately.
Do you also write script?
Unfortunately not.
I think you should write.
You think so? Thank you. I'll give it a try. Thank you. Yeah.
But still on the entertainment industry being a big part of the influence of how we live. Now you're part of that. How do you think you're going to change a few things?
I can only play my part, and I think my part is by reaffirming our stories, the importance of telling our stories ourselves, the importance of being part of that movement that pushes for African stories to be told to the world, and not only to Africans, but to the world. So yes, I want to be part of that. I'm eager actually to be part of that. Yeah.
How do you see, where do you see yourself? This is a very common question.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself, guys asking for jobs 5 years, but in the acting field, like 10 from now?
I'm not going to put my baskets in one egg, but I see myself continuing to live my dreams and continuing to...
What are your dreams? Let's start there.
I'm also a little bit superstitious, so I was just like, I won't tell you, you'll just see. But I see myself continuing to dream, right? I think that's really important. Continuing to dream and continuing to go for my heart's desire, continuing to sort of like, how should I say this? Follow the peaks of my interest, right? So anything that I'm interested in, I hope that I'm given a chance, or I hope that I have the opportunity to sort of follow that wherever that leads me. And so I think in short, that means that intuitively, I want to follow my intuition wherever it goes. Yeah.
Now, when you're here, right?
Yes.
And you're Aamito.
Yes.
Don't you feel like it should be of great impact, like to people? Like they should feel like you're part of us, like we never feel that.
What do you mean?
When we read about you, this is such a big person. Yeah. But you're very reserved when you're here.
I'm low key. Because I think home...
I feel like you should use part of your influence to help other people dream, mostly women. Dream like.
Why women? Men dream too.
I'm a dream model, and mostly
So?
I think most females are interested in becoming models. But yes, all of us, yeah, of course, from the business side.
I think my perspective on life is not only reserved for women or models. I think it's reserved for everyone who has a dream.
Okay.
I don't know. I think so. Yeah. I would like to think
totally agree. Yeah, but how do you make me dream that big? Like how are you going to impact us down here to dream?
Listen, I don't know.
I was just reading contracts that no, she's signed to this and this and this, and she's doing all this great work.
Listen, I hope my story, I hope what I do continues to inspire people to dream. I hope. But then, not only people, like even if it inspires one person, that would be enough for me. However, that's not my goal, because at the end of the day, like I also am afraid of the pressure that comes with quote unquote inspiring people. When I come home, the reason is why I'm low key, or the reason is why I'm chill, is because it's my place of safety. I feel safe when I'm here, and it's not like safe physically, but it's also like a mental safety. Like I can scream, I can be 100% authentic with who I am when I'm home. There's personas that I have to sort of embody when I'm out there. Like all of us, right? We have, what do they call them? Code switching, right? We code switch depending on where we are. Like the same way you speak to your dad is not the same way you probably speak to your brother, you know? So I also have that. But when I'm at home, I code switch to a place of safety, of you know, my upbringing, of I don't care if you judge me, like, you know. So I guess that's why I'm protective of that space, in a sense. That's why I keep it to myself. I love to just be chilled.
Now, the thing that draws me to you mostly is actually not the African top model thing. Mm-hmm. It's you doing the Kanye West thing in release.
Doing the what?
Opening for Life of Pablo.
Oh, Kanye.
Yeah. It's not to talk about Kanye West. How is it working with Kanye West? Let me just hear from your perspective.
It's how do you pronounce that? Oh my gosh, my Acholi accent is not going to allow me to say that word. Exhilarating. Yeah. Exhilarating. That's the pronunciation.
You don't have that Acholi accent.
You don't think I have an Acholi accent? I'm slightly offended. I really want to have the Acholi accent, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's exhilarating. It's everything you think it is. It's wow. Yeah, it is wow. I mean, from standing in front of him during the casting, to doing the fittings, to yeah. I'm a fan of Kanye. Of course, I love his music, but I think for me, my most wow moments or moment was when I met Beyonce, when I shot for what's that? Park Ivy.
Yeah.
That was, 'cause I'm a beehive, staunch beehive. Like I don't even play. But yeah, that was something.
Okay, I don't know if they felt what I feel for being in your presence. And I want you to explain that.
No, really.
No, like for Beyonce, really. Yeah, to you from some chick from Kichugun.
Yeah. No. That was. My stomach turns every time I think about it. But no, that was something. I mean, there's no words. But I think I came to the job late because they didn't confirm me until the morning of the shoot. Mm-hmm. And so when I got to the job, it was during COVID, so they had to take like a COVID test, blah, blah, blah. And then I sat in the hair and makeup chair. And then the hairstylist brought Beyonce's wig to try on me. You guys, I wore Beyonce's wig for a few seconds. Let me just say that. I need to say that. I'm sorry.
Definitely have to say that. Yeah.
But it didn't work. So they're like, oh, it doesn't work, whatever. Let's use her natural hair. Anyway, so they dress me up and I go on set. As I'm walking onto set, Beyonce is leaving set. And I stand there and freeze. Can you imagine how embarrassing? I stand there and freeze. And Beyonce turns, she's like, oh, Aamito's here. And then she looks at me, she's like, beautiful. how are you? And I'm like, I'm okay. Hi. Like it's embarrassing. It's an embarrassing story, but I love telling it because it's just like, I was mesmerized. She's everything and more. Her work ethic is impeccable. Like, she did not spend more than 5 minutes in her dressing room the whole time we were there, the whole time. Like, everyone was like on a lunch break and she kept on going. She's like, okay, if this photographer is not here, if he's on lunch, let's do videography or let's do another set. Like, she kept on going nonstop. I even left her there. It was amazing to watch. I don't think I was working on that day. I was just observing her and observing everything that happens when she's around. And it was amazing to watch. It was amazing to watch. I cannot say that enough. It was amazing to watch and observe.
Is that like your best moment in
I mean,
so far? Like, starstruck moment?
I don't know if it's the best, but it's like there. It's there because, and it's not there because, you know, we were on the same set shooting. It was there because I was given an opportunity to watch her work, right?
Yeah.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Does that inspire how you now work?
It does.
How you want to work?
It does inspire me a lot. It really does inspire me. Just thinking about how professional she is, how kind. She's very kind to everyone.
I feel like every rich person gives off that. Like, if you spend a day, my mentor is a real estate guru around here.
Right.
But when you spend a day with him, you have to get those vibes, right?
Right.
In the car, in what, the phone calls he's having, the discipline, you get that. Until you meet, say, a brother.
Right.
Yeah, and then they have to tell you, no, he's just another human being. Like,
right. Yeah, I guess. But I think, like, Beyonce, it's like, she doesn't have to be kind or nice, right? She's amazing. She's Beyonce, right? She doesn't have to be anything. She could be like, okay, let's have a 2-3 hour break. Nope, no breaks whatsoever.
Nice.
Going, no breaks. Like, it was, yeah. I learned a lot in those few hours.
So I run, besides working here, I run a studio that produces movies, by the way. So
amazing. But good to know.
The thing with working with creatives is they're always so full of themselves, right? They feel like, what you just said, when I'm working with young creatives, guy will tell you, let's pause, I need to think, I need to take a smoke break for things like that. Like, that's
you mean like me? Because I had to go and change.
I know. I had not told you about the video, but that was the fact that you actually respect the fact went and change for it. That's something for me.
No,
so, but there's that. So, for you, in terms of attitude, all through, like from the journey when it started from school. First of all, coming from a humble background by default makes you, I don't know, for you it's stronger, but for my experiences with my own life and my friends, it's easy to just give up on the first. Like, you feel like the world is against you, right?
Right.
Like, no, this is already not complete, this is not to where it is. But it takes immense mind space and mental strength to, like, see through stuff.
Yeah.
How do you build that mantra over time? How do you pick yourself up all the time to just be about it and just do it?
I think for me, it's seeing a possibility in something, right? It's seeing like a little bit of drop of hope, right? So from my childhood, okay, I'll tell you this little story. So before Africa's Next Top Model or whatever, we had a little singing competition in church, right? I love telling this story. And the winner of that competition, it wasn't a singing competition. It was more of like a creative competition. So you could either sing or dance or play an instrument, whatever your talent was. So the winner of the competition, you would get 5 million Ugandan shillings, and then the second would get, I think, 3 million, and the third would get 1 million. And I told myself from the very beginning, like, I am getting 5 million. Like, do not play with me. I'm getting 5 million. So, like, those little incidences, that happened, like, as I grew up, sort of affirmed to me the possibility of things that could happen, right? So there was a little bit of drop of hope that's always been planted in my life. And when I got to Africa's Next Top Model, winning that sort of fully affirmed that, oh my gosh, like whatever I dream, whatever I put my mind to can actually be possible. And so now when I'm dreaming, I don't limit myself. I just go wild with the dreams. It's
but right
a
now
little
you've
bit
been exposed
insane.
enough to know that it can actually happen.
Yes,
So
true.
just do it.
True.
That's dope. Now, you as a business person, okay, someone who has worked and made some money.
Yes.
Are you investing in stuff around here?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that? Investment in business?
Yes. I invest in real estate, but in the US. Well, I think it's more like, oh my gosh, I hope the IRS doesn't come for me. But anyway, yeah, so I guess, yeah, a little bit. I do that in the US. I think the market's a little bit more stable, but I do a lot of stocks, all that Bitcoin shit. I do that. I love money, so I diversify my portfolio.
Do you think Bitcoin will work here at some point? Okay, we have Bitcoin.
I don't know. I don't know if it works, but of course, the idea of it, it's like anybody should be able to have access to it. So yeah,
Protection
it probably should.
So, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
I want people to remember me as someone who lived an authentic life.
What do you mean by authentic?
True to myself. Followed my curiosity wherever it took me, even if it took me to a place that people didn't agree with, or people didn't like, or people looked down on. Like, I don't care, as long as I'm living the truest version of myself. That's how I want to be remembered, positive or negative.
Family?
What do you mean?
Is that a family like?
You mean like have children? What's the question?
Do you want to have a family?
Do I want to have
children? Do you have a family?
I have a
children?
family.
No, like...
I have a puppy.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen the white puppy.
Have you seen my puppy? I love her so much.
Looks like my puppy.
I came with her. Yeah, she's fun. But yeah.
Do you fly with it?
Yes. Yes.
How is that like? I read the fees for pets are now twice as double the human fee. I read some article at the beginning of last month.
You have to go around it. Yeah, you have to figure out. I'm a Ugandan still at heart, so I will find ways around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, with family, I think, I don't know if your question is, are you asking if I'm single, or what are you asking?
Even that.
Even that? Oh my gosh, I just gave you a question. Okay, that was dumb of me. But, okay, so my dating life is savage because I have a good life as a single woman who's not attached to anyone. I have a full life, I think. I have friends, family, etc. Like all the aspects of life, like spiritual, physical, financial, blah, blah, blah. I feel like all those aspects of my life are on a certain standard, okay, right? And so if I'm to bring on someone to my life, if I'm to add on another person, I think it has to be better than what it is. So I don't find the need in adding on someone who's just baggage that I have to drag. And the idea of being single forever I'm okay with that idea. I'm not scared of that idea.
What's your perspective on love?
I believe in love, absolutely. It's so beautiful.
You just said you'd drag someone. I
No,
thought you just love someone.
No, it's more complex than that. You can't just say love is enough. Having a lover is nice, but then they'll just stay as a lover. But if you want to integrate them into your life, I think that it takes more than love. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah?
Yeah, I agree.
I think it takes more than love. But yeah, having a lover is great. You can have as many lovers as you want. Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
I hope that answers everything.
Just the answer the family bit.
Oh, the family bit. With
with kids, same as your life.
Children.
Yeah, like as model and actor takes for a lot of your time.
I think when the time comes, why not? I'm open to it. Yeah, I'm open to it. Let's just say that. Oh gosh, I had a drink somewhere. Okay, so the thing with me is that, okay, I love eating, don't be fooled, but I love like dates where you experience something, because I put a lot of work in like how I look on a date, so I need the experience to be worth my look.
What type of experience?
Like, I don't know, fun. You come up with something. You're the person taking me on a date.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I have a date. Yeah, but we're not doing anything physical, kissing or whatever.
Oh,
okay,
just a
date. All right, yeah, just.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I had to. Oh, this is so exciting. Anyway, I'm so excited for you to take me on a date. But I want other dates as well. Like so where can I meet?
I don't know about the Ugandan scene.
Oh, really? Anyway, so let's.
I think your DM just doesn't stop, right?
Really? No, nobody sends me DMs. It's crazy. I think they're scared. Do you think? What?
Yeah, that's scared. No, once you Google you, then once people Google you, then they stamp a $5 million net worth on you. You're like, what am I gonna do with this person?
You know, but no, I'm such a girly girl, and I love being taken out on experiences because they're so fun. And
what do you do in Uganda? Terms from besides maybe going to Ginger and seeing birds and national parks. Do you even do that?
I'd love someone to take me to do that.
Okay. Good ideas.
There's a lot of things that have come up now. There's the water park.
There's karting now in Bogota.
Yeah, there's karting. Oh,
do you
really?
want to do that?
I want to go karting. I'm so competitive, by the way. Yeah, I would love to do that. I love interactive dates. Sitting and eating is a little bit boring. Yeah. Anyway, but I also love sitting and eating. Don't be fooled. I love sitting and eating. But yeah. Yes.
It's your time to ask.
Wait, hold on. She has a story. That's why she's laughing. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you the story. So, was it last year when I came to Uganda?
Wait, for like after a very long time, right?
No. Well, I think...
You come back every year?
I do come back often. I come back like twice a year, 3 times a year, depending on how homesick I feel. But one of the times that I came back, my niece dared me to go on Tinder, an Ugandan Tinder. So I opened it, Aamito Lagum, location Uganda, Kampala, and then I matched with someone. And then the person was like, oh my gosh, are you the Aamito? And I was like, oh, don't you ever say that. That's wrong. Don't. Just be cool. You know, just be like, hey, what's up? Let me take you out for dinner. Yeah. I had to delete the account, which was so sad. But I want to do something like that again.
So unreal. But don't you think that has been eaten up from your life? Like, I'll always find out.
Yeah.
Like, you're Aamito. Yeah. But I'm surprised you were just going to church randomly. So the pressure is not that much for you. The celebrity pressure.
Sometimes it's... Yeah, sometimes I just want to be like... That's why I come home. It's because I just want to do that.
Yeah.
I just want to do that. Yeah.
What fun things do you do when you're here? What do you love about Uganda?
Family, and the sense of grounding that it gives me. I feel very grounded when I'm here. I don't feel like over the board. I am not, I guess, crazy. I think that's really important to me. Feeling grounded and feeling safe. And my family is crazy. They're very open-minded. They tell you like it is. This morning when I was in the gym, I asked my niece, do you think I have abs? And she was like, I'm not one of those people who's gonna lie to you. You don't have abs. I was like, oh my gosh. That is so rude. So yeah, I adore them.
What has been your favorite modeling job and campaign you've worked on? Just mention the Beyonce thing, right?
I don't have a favorite, but maybe The one that gave me the most money? Probably, yeah.
Yeah, you talked about being on interviews all the time. How is that like? Do you have to like mentally prepare your mind on what you have to tell people?
What I have to say? Yeah, interviews make me nervous a little.
Did you feel like then that becomes like some PR? We don't get to know like your thoughts. You have to tell us the industry standard of things.
It does, but everything is PR, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we can't all tell our thoughts the way they are. There has to be a filter, shouldn't there? Yeah.
Do you cook?
I hate cooking. I know.
Hate is.
But also, I don't like cooking. And the reason as to why I don't like cooking is because when I live in New York City and the same money you use to buy food is the same money you can go to a restaurant with. But also the most important thing is like usually when I cook, I'm suffocated with the smell and I'm not able to eat. And if I were to choose between cooking and eating, I would take eating. So that's why I don't like cooking.
But I think the price thing is even here, the amount you spend on buying food.
It's kind of the same. You just go to a restaurant.
You can just go to a restaurant and eat. Do you do what every celebrity does? Give back, do charity?
Oh my gosh, that's so weird. But I think with every opportunity comes responsibility. And so with the opportunity that I've been given, there is a responsibility that is expected of me. And of course, yes, I am involved in, I guess, giving back. I hate calling it charity, but I'm involved in volunteering my time and or money to, I don't know, to wherever. So I really work closely with Oxfam America. And that's one of the ways that I...
Do you have an organization of yourself?
No, I don't.
Do you plan to have one?
Probably.
What would it be about?
We'll see. Superstitious. Don't forget, I'm very superstitious. But I think that is in the works. I don't want to talk about it yet because I haven't fully formed the idea. But it's absolutely in the works. Yeah.
Okay. No, this is not for me. Mm-hmm. This podcast is watched mostly by women.
Do you think?
Why I look at the stats.
Okay.
I think I also host a lot of women. Like naturally, it's because I have more conversations with women than boys. Like my boyfriends are these ones. That is my younger brother. That's like one of my closest friends.
Amazing.
So there's everything. Yeah.
Martin looks familiar. I feel like. No.
He just has that.
You do have that
face.
familiar look.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
interesting.
Typical Ugandan man.
Do you think so? Do you think that? No, I think.
But tips on like skincare routine, beauty for the women. They can pick from you.
No, but for men as well. I think it's so. Okay, I listened to not a podcast, but I think it was a TikTok or an Instagram from one of the beauty gurus that I follow. And she said something really important, and I feel like I do resonate with the statement she made. She said skincare is about hygiene. And so, or hygiene, how do you pronounce that? But so skincare is about hygiene. And so you need something to wash your face properly. You can't just use, what's the best Star?
Yes.
You can't just use Star to wash, you can't just use Star to wash your face properly. It's inhygienic. Ew. It's
Isn't it so?
Yeah, but like you need proper things to wash your face. And keep clean, you need things that will actually take dirt off. Otherwise, we'll check like behind your ears and there's like still dirt. That's gross. That's all I'm saying.
Let's look into your day. Like, what do you do when you wake up? Do you have like a routine? Gym, like things that don't just miss out, writing and journaling your life?
Where? Depends. It depends
here, when you're in UG.
When I'm in Kampala.
Yeah.
Same time, I wake up around 5:36. I open the door for my dog. She's around, so I have to open the door for her. She goes pees, give her food, and then it depends on if I have a morning workout or not. Sometimes I take 6 a.m. class, and then after that I go back home, make myself a celery juice and a ginger shot, and have some coffee, and probably take meetings, and then
Do you do endorsements here? Do you do business here? If like I want, are you like an influencer?
No.
Okay, the definition here is weird. But yeah, like actual influencer.
No.
Do you
in here?
Yeah.
No, I don't think. I've never.
But can you? Are you open to such opportunities?
Absolutely.
Okay.
With the dollars on the table, yes.
Okay. When we go into that room, you ask for the dollars.
Yes. I'm absolutely open to it. I'm absolutely open to doing a lot of things back home. I just haven't had the opportunity to do them. And I think also, like, I was having a conversation with Joram, and Joram said everyone is scared to ask for what you will charge, but I think you can afford. They can afford.
I agree. We'll talk about the rate card after.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you have to ask. Then we.
Yes, I want to know. Except work. Wait. How did you meet Vanquisha? Let's start there.
Online.
Okay, so you met on Twitter.
Yeah.
I
think she was. Yeah.
When was this?
2-3 years back. Or dating.
How long?
20. We dated for like a year.
Wow. How was that? I want to know the details.
Yeah.
Okay, so why did you break up?
Well, we just broke up.
No, you cannot say that. I'm sorry.
But we're friends now, so
that's good.
I think we're not like on the same wavelength at life at the time. Yeah.
You were
she had to like achieve more stuff. Yeah, but apparently now she's actually out of employment and she's just chilling. And getting married, she told me this year or the next.
Oh, beautiful. Congrats for her. How about you? Are you getting married soon?
I don't know what I think about marriage.
You don't what?
I don't know what I think about marriage. Yeah.
Tell me more. What do you mean you don't know what you think about marriage?
I feel like it's a commitment we shouldn't take. Because people fall out of love, right? Apart from the fact that maybe it keeps family, like, because we've grown up like that. Our parents are married because they want to keep their children all together. But then my experiences with my friends, what I see people do has been so weird. I'm also like a strong lover, and all the time I see married people, it's not what I imagined. So I feel like once you agree to commit,
you should hold that.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that sentiment.
So, and I don't see that. So I feel like, okay, now there's no point actually.
But I think that marriage has nothing to do with commitment. You can commit to someone, to a partner, and not be legally married. Yeah.
What would be the point? Isn't it like the end goal of commitment?
Is it though?
Marry you for the rest of my life?
Is it though? Yeah. You can be committed to someone for the rest of your life and not be married. I've seen stronger partnerships between two people who are not married and they're really committed to each other. But I do understand the need to get like a paper, right? That's helpful in terms of in terms of a legal sense, right? When the husband's sick or when one of you dies, like, what do you leave for the children? That's really helpful in that sense. But I think if we look at like being a partner to someone, being committed to someone, you make that choice with or without marriage. And marriage is just like a cherry on top of everything. But obviously before going into marriage, there has to be compatibilities that have to be met. And only the feeling of what I'm assuming you call love is not enough. I define love differently. How do you define love? Love is a choice. That's how I define love. Well, based on my experience.
So when you love someone, you've just chosen.
You choose every single day. Yes, you choose to commit to and to love them. You choose them. Regardless of how you're feeling, of how, if they're being a nasty person today or tomorrow, you still choose to love them.
Have you been in love before?
I have. I would like to say I have. I've chosen.
Why did that stop? Why did you unchoose?
Why? I guess it wasn't working. We were on different paths.
Yeah, so that's basically it.
Yeah, we're on different paths. But I also don't stay close friends with my exes. No. I know you're friends. Are you close to Vanquisha? Are you guys close?
I still take her out to date sometimes.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you take a lot of
She
people
takes me to No, strictly her, by the way. Ever since she broke up with
you
her,
are taking me on a date. You just said this.
To a date. But also, she takes me to church. Like, she drags me to church, and like, I have a love-hate relationship with my God.
Okay.
So
I understand.
I don't
that.
understand the concept of God so much. Like, I have my
understand
doubts and questions, and then she's fully embarked into the whole thing. So she's right now, she doesn't text anything. It's not God. Like, she'll tell you, I can't go out if there's alcohol. Like, she's gone into that line.
Right.
Yeah. So that's maybe.
You know, I respect that. I respect having a complicated relationship with God because I do too.
But you're actually like a God person. Like in the interview with Robert, you kept referencing to God the whole time.
I am. I grew up in church. But just because I'm a God person doesn't mean my relationship with Him is not complicated. It's really complicated. Actually, I think it's more my relationship with religion itself that is complicated. And so it kind of like complicates everything that is around God and in that sense. But I'm strongly spiritual. I'm a spiritual human being, and yeah, I still have those questions at the back end.
What do you understand by God? And this is really such a fundamental question because it's very important, right? It's how people live through their lives. Like, to you, what does God mean to you?
Source. That was the wrong pronunciation, but source. The all-powerful being beyond our imagination, beyond our eyes. And sometimes people would define that as the thing within us. Like, everyone has a God in them, which I can see. But like I said, my relationship is complicated. I don't have all the answers. So I take it day by day, and I intuitively follow whatever I feel is right for me. Yeah.
And religion, what do you think about? You grew up Catholic, right?
No, I grew up born again Christian.
From like when you're young?
From like when I was young.
So I grew up Catholic. I still think if I have to get married, I'll have to go to a Catholic church.
Why do you think that?
Because then I've not made my mind, but because my dad is still Catholic.
Okay.
And he's still my father, really.
Okay.
Nothing
So you're
changes.
following your dad's religion.
Yeah. But growing up has showed me so many things. So the other thing I share, I think, from listening to you a lot is the positive affirmation, right? I really, my friends know me for it. I never think of the negative side of things. There's a day we're traveling up country with this guy, so the car jammed. Like, he panics, like, yo, what's up? I'm like, it's actually going to work.
Relax.
Like, it's just going to work. And we started the car and it worked.
Yeah.
So that is how I live my life. So when I live like that, and then I'm convinced that there's like a superpower, I fail to get the difference. Like, I feel like I want to be a better human being every single day of my life. Like, that's my goal. Like, you know what? Be a better human being.
Right.
Do good to your friends. Add some value to a few people here and there. So I just don't see the actual value, because then there's so much that goes wrong, and then you feel like, okay, now if there's someone watching over and then this is happening, so that in my life, that has been the biggest issue. Just coming to trust that there's someone who can handle things for you. Like, the church goes, like, I would go to church with one Christian and the pastor is preaching all these things. I'm like, okay, but I read so much self-care.
Questions. Yeah, you have questions.
And also the fact that I can read things to feed my mind elsewhere. It's just not the Bible or what God says, like any other human beings. So that's the other thing. And they're more believable because I read other people's experiences, with how they've navigated life, what they have to actually do, sending you to maybe work out and then follow through kinds of routines for getting things right, be consistent about stuff. That living like that is more realistic to me, right? Than living with hope. I find hope very misleading, first of all.
Really? Interesting. Interesting. Why do you find hope very misleading?
Because it's just hope, like, it's the hope that kills.
What is hope?
Looking forward.
But I think...
Thinking that tomorrow will be a better day. That's how I define hope.
Yeah. But that, you said you leave it positive, you try to leave positive, but I think hope is positive. Like, hoping that tomorrow is going to be better.
But I'd still be expecting the worst, by the way. Like, this podcast thing.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 2 years. I do it to my co-host. We never made a single shilling of it. We don't make money. The advertisers that come want me to stamp the YouTube with so many things, and I don't want that. So most of the time, I chase them. That's why I have to work a job and then do it. So it's just that, like, the things I do, I feel like I have purpose to do them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But hoping on two things. I've been let down when I just gotten out of campus. Look, I used to look out to my father a lot. So my father is a typical Ugandan man, married to a woman and stays with his family and stuff like that, and that's all he wants in life. So I grew up seeing that. So I tried to achieve that so quickly right out of campus. I cohabited with someone, and then once that broke, I felt like that's it, because I'd done my part.
Oh no.
Yeah, that
sad.
was it. So I feel like hoping on two things can then put you in that same pain I went through right after, of thinking that, okay, because I really thought this would never end. Like,
But imagine the beauty of life, right? You just said you never thought that would end, but you're here and it ended, and then you went on to date other people, and then now you don't even remember the feeling.
And now I have a date with you.
Now we have a date together. Imagine that. So imagine that. I think that's the beauty of hope. When you are in a situation, you're foggy, your ego's been bruised and you feel almost hopeless, but then like a little glimpse, a little light, it's just like, you know what, it's fine. Maybe what have I learned from this experience? And then you dust it off, not really dust it off, carry the experience with you and hope for better. Isn't that just beautiful? Like, hope is so beautiful. Oh my God. Like,
Hoping is, the feeling is dope. Until also maybe just growing up in Uganda just throws so many disappointments at you, so you feel like politically like something is failing.
It's like
you just take so many hits
everything.
And you just get out of it.
I get that a lot. I get that too. But I think hope is the only thing that we can have. I think I want to mention that in my journey of finding spirituality and sort of growing myself spiritually, I took Jewish studies. I studied Judaism for a year. And one of the beautiful things about what I studied, I did study Reformed Judaism under a Reformed Jewish church, Jewish synagogue or temple. So it's a little different from like Hasidic Jews and all the other types of the religion. But one thing that I learned from my class, which is really important and I carry with me, that I didn't learn in church or from Christianity, is that you can question God. You can ask him questions. You can refuse to understand. You can be like, I don't understand this does not resonate, and you can have those questions within yourself, and it's okay, and it's not a sin.
How do they get answered?
You are, I guess, led by the Holy Spirit, but I think for me the beauty was not necessarily finding the answer, because sometimes you might not be able to find the answer, right? It's not a logical matter, it's a spiritual matter, right? So you might not be able to find the answers, but the safety or the satisfaction I get from being able to still ask those questions, that was really important to me. And I resonated with that a lot. But I just wanted to kind of mention that. I hope that you rediscover your relationship with hope.
I hope so too. But now that I have you, I can dream bigger.
Oh yeah. This is really lovely.
So are you still asking?
Yeah, I still have more questions for you. Good. Actually. Hold on. Wait.
So I also started Jumia, if you want to ask about business.
Oh let's talk about that. Let's talk about your relationship with Kulabako, because I love Kulaba.
She's my best boss ever. So they used to, after she left, they used to give us awards after her name.
Right.
Like Kulabako Award.
Oh my God! Really?
She taught me this whole thing thing of your boss can be your friend at
Right.
work. Like there was no like hierarchy between her. She'll teach you the things she knows.
Right.
Like she's your friend.
Right.
So that is her way of working is really so unique.
Right.
It's result oriented, but she's still part of the whole making of the results. She would go downtown. She was a cool kid though. Yeah.
Really
Parents
cool.
are
I
rich
love
and
that.
stuff, but she would still go
Yeah.
downtown and work with us and stuff. So so much picked from her. That, yeah.
Kulaba taught me my favorite phrase, mob jazz. And I say that a lot. I'm just like, when someone says something, I'm like, ugh, mob jazz. Yeah, she's a cool girl. I love her so much. I tried to spend some time with her in Los Angeles. I'm actually moving to LA in the next couple of months. So yeah, I'll be spending a lot more time with her. But yeah, we
That's
love
dope.
Kulaba Ko.
Yeah, you
she's
do.
a cool
You should
girl.
tell her when you see her.
Absolutely. And then so you left Jumia.
Yeah. So I left Jumia. Then I still did e-commerce. There were other companies that were coming up. Like Kilimo. Then left employment. Focused on the studio. Focused on shooting content. So I also do original web content for other people, creators.
Okay.
Like I hire out this and more equipment.
Amazing.
Yeah, focused on that. The industry is big, yeah, because you have to like really be a swang revenue to make a killing out of it.
Right.
So right now, we've invested a lot and it can't come back that yet. So there's that. Yeah, then came back to do marketing here. I had marketing at all the farms here that we do.
So what exactly, do you work on a specific startup, or do you kind of do everything?
So right now we are investing and starting up a lot of hospitality in terms of restaurants, the villa, the patio, the maze, fine dining around Uganda. There are about 6 restaurants.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so I head all the marketing for, of course. I just do marketing here mostly.
What other e-commerce, because you guys do e-com here, right?
Yeah.
What other e-com kind of brands are you working on currently?
So we do Silcon, so they're starting up so many things at the same time just to do an app where all the products we own. So unlike Jumia that goes to vendors that have their own stuff, we want to like control the center of the business, the hospitality, the hotels, people selling shops, but our own shops we've started or reinvested in money. So that's like the trend. But any other ideas go, right? They're willing to invest in the ideas as long as they make sense to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Thank you for that information.
Okay.
How old are you?
29.
Beautiful. So you're going into what they call a Saturn return. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
I know it's a very long topic. You should first Google it, and then we can talk about it on our date.
Okay.
Yeah, we can talk about your Saturn return on our date.
How does that feel for you?
It feels free.
Do you feel you've grown too much, or do you feel you still have?
No, I feel good actually. I feel like now is the time for me to really, like, I feel like my 20s were a little bit insecure. I was like, oh, my body is this way. Like, there was a little insecurities, but now I don't give a fuck. Sorry.
Yeah, you can swear on my podcast, don't worry. This is actually a freeway podcast, you can swear on it.
But now I don't give a shit, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I'm a 30-year-old woman and just living my best life. Yeah.
Stop. Okay.
Yeah. I think they usually say the 20s are for messing up, and then the 30s are for kind of focusing on one thing, and then the 40s are for making money. So, but yeah, like, I want my 30s to be for making money though, so we'll see.
For me as a guy, I feel like by 30, you must have everything.
What? That is crazy to think.
So that drives me crazy.
It is.
But
Yes.
I'm still finding.
Can you imagine being? What? That is crazy. At 30, your life has just started. Listen, do you know what me and my family talk about? My niece, we talk about, like, people should not be allowed to have children before they're 30. This is what I believe. Literally, like, you are.
But I agree with that.
Should even be a law.
I agree with that. That's enough time for you to really see.
Yeah, to really
feel like I need to bring the child into.
Understand who you were as a person. I feel like you don't do that until after 30. You kind of get to know who you are as a human being. But
if everything goes according to your plan, when do you plan on having children?
even 50. Yeah, I have no limit to it.
Okay. Don't you feel like if you have children at 50, you will be a very detached from their lifestyle?
Why?
Because they'll be a million generations away from, okay, like I also our parents, but that's the issue. We were never friends with our parents because
that's
of that.
the problem.
Yeah.
I think like our upbringing was we were also detached from our parents.
Yeah.
We were never friends. I think for me, that's the difference between, the only difference between me and like the people that I grew up with in Kampala is that I was actually friends with my mom. I'm an only child, so I was really friends with my mom. And I truly believed everything that my mom told me. Like when my mom told me, you were so smart, you were so beautiful. Like I truly believed that because she was my friend. On top of being a parent, of course, I would get caned like any other kid.
Yeah.
But she would explain things to me in like no more English, because I feel like our parents were a little bit dismissive and they were like, Sidika, don't air out your opinion, don't say anything, don't answer back, don't, like, your feelings are not valid, shut up. But for me with my mom, like I would explain to her and she would understand, and that is your model. And right, isn't that crazy? Yeah. So I think for me that's the difference that I find with like my friends that I grew up with or grew up around, is that my mom was my friend. And I don't think like even having kids at 50, of course 50 is like a long stretch. As a woman, you can have kids whenever you want to. With science and technology, you can have kids at whatever age you want to, but it depends on how you raise them, I guess. What's
your ideal way of raising your child? Because also the idea that we have to be friends with our children is more like a myth.
But it's not. It happened to me.
You're like a 1%. That's
Are you saying I'm a unicorn? Thank you.
Because it's hard, It's really hard. You have to just be a parent to your child.
Right.
Now with all this new information that's around, with all these new cultures, and like it's not America where you have to just live free and the system will support you. Here the system can support you when you're free like that, right? So you still have to train your child to beat this system fast. And by beating it, they have to like join it.
But I think, listen, I'm not a parent, so I shouldn't be giving advice on. But
you've been raised, parenting. And you are going to be a parent in the future.
I don't know. God willing. If God doesn't will, then not. I don't know. But God willing, I think for me, the style that I would choose to raise my child is teach them compassion and teach them kindness and listen to them, because they are a different human being. They have their own opinions. There's only so much that you can there's only so much that you can shield a child from, right? But I think with honest communication, that goes a long way. And I think that's one of the things that I really love from the way that I was raised. Honest communication. It's like, listen, if you do this, this might happen, and then this will happen, right? And that sort of helped me make really good decisions for myself in the long run. And that's a style that I want to adopt. If whatever style is out there that's new, that I think would come up or that I can change my mind to, that's better, then I will adopt that if I'm lucky enough to have children. Yeah. I don't believe in like, I'm going to be like shield you from, I don't believe in that, because we live in the world of the internet. They will eventually, if you don't teach them from home, if you don't communicate with them, they're going to see it from outside. Okay. And you would rather have those conversations in the house. You'd rather be.
But how easy is it to have these uncomfortable decisions from like a perspective where you've seen it, you've taken experiences, you know what's up, and to someone who just has to experiment through their life? I think it's extremely hard. Like,
no, it's not. If you start
from the get-go, parents would have done the same thing.
No, but they didn't know better. I don't fault our parents in any way, because that's what they knew. That's all they knew. But now with more information in our age, we have more information, so we can do better, right? Yeah. So also their parents like taught them with whatever they had, whatever information they had at the time. So since we have new information, we have lots and lots of different research on how to raise children better, on how to make them better human beings, on how to be involved in their lives, on the importance of fathers being involved in their lives, right? So yeah, we have new information, we have new research. We use that.
Speaking of new information, I feel like it's too much information that you have to know how to sieve it.
Yeah.
Pick what's wrong or what's right.
Yeah, you pick whatever works for you.
Whatever works for you?
Yeah, like whatever works for you, your household, right? You pick that. Whatever works for your household, you choose that. If beating your child works,
it works. Do you believe beating the children works?
Absolutely, I don't. Absolutely not.
But what helped with you?
No, it did not. It was very traumatic, and my mom owes me therapy money.
That's interesting. Okay. Your other question.
Are you seeing anybody now? Are you dating?
No.
Okay, does anybody think that they are dating you?
No.
Does
he's just laughing because that's
wait, tell us. Does somebody think that they're in a relationship with him?
No.
Nobody thinks that they're in a relationship with you?
No.
When do you want to have children? Do you want to have children?
Yes.
When? Do you know when? Or you're open to?
Time when I'm ready to have children.
When you feel ready intuitively. I get that. Would you... how do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Rich.
I love that. I fuck with that. Rich.
Yeah. Rich. I've put in so much work into things. Investing in companies. So this also, what makes it very easy to do? I invest in it with friends and people very close to me. So the same as other stuff I try to do. So because I know it's hard for people to pay me what I offer in terms of value. Most of the times I just buy equity into their stuff. Then I give them the skill.
Fair enough.
Then I see it come through.
That's beautiful.
So I feel like in 5 years, that should be paying off very good.
And if it doesn't, what happens?
I go to my village and dig. We have so much land that side. Yeah, I'll just give up.
Okay. Options. Interesting. That's really cool. Okay, so how do you see when you are to have a family, or when you're ready to have a family? How do you see your family dynamic? Like, what do you picture your wife or spouse or husband? I don't know, or kids. No, I don't know.
Yeah, that's I've not even thought about it, but that's actually the good. You're supposed to ask like that.
How do you see the dynamic in your family? Do you see yourself following the colonizers' way of putting a family? Like you're
which is that one?
You're the head of the family. You're Uganda, right?
Yeah. Uganda. What? I need someone to kneel down for me. Nah.
They have to kneel.
No. So I don't want to go so far away from my father. Yeah. So my father is a really, really humble churchman, Catholic guy. Yeah, dedicated his life and service to the church like that. Probably has seen a lot of hardships in life, and because he's gone out to do like jail. But when he's here, that's all you see. A man who's silent, who never questions the wife. Okay, that's toxic a bit. I still find it toxic with him.
I think,
but then it helps. Yeah, it helps to know that you're still the head and you don't have to exert any power to anyone. It's just there. So it's just that, like, I want someone I can be friends with, and that's so hard because I've tried it in the past. So I kind of feel like you have to go the normal Uganda way, accumulate a lot of wealth.
Wait, what do you mean?
Just accommodate someone for the sake of it. Because first of all, it's hard to like just mind space, to train someone's mind and be like, yo, we can make it out together. Here, like when you're dating, it's a thing. Right now, the options of people I get to date, people expect so much. Oh, the guy has a podcast, he has a studio, so like probably you face the same thing. And also, yeah.
Wait, I don't know. I don't. What do you mean I face the same?
You're a celebrity.
No,
so
I
there's
don't.
that.
I don't.
There's that. So there's.
I'm nobody in the US. But anyway, go ahead.
Thankfully, you can just you want Google search away from the first page, really.
Uh-huh.
So that is a big thing. Like, I've not found someone I can make my friend, and we're friends. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, and I want that.
Maybe you just haven't. You're very young. You haven't found someone.
Yeah.
Be friends with.
Really open to very many ideas in my head. Like, it's something like love is something I have to give a chance. Like, I believe in it so much because I've loved before, and I believe it can happen again. It's just that
when you loved before, how did you define love?
Sacrifice to exist with someone. Like, just like you may be choosing them, but first, I was just on a wave, right?
Like, was it a strong feeling in your heart?
Exactly that, the strong feeling in my head. Like, I feel like I love this person, and I kind of feel like that's how it's supposed to be. Everything else I have been going through is more like script. You sit down with someone and like, I want this and this and this. So you try that, and then the energies don't like sync.
But what happens when that strong feeling dies? Because it dies after the first 3 years in a relationship. That feeling dies. What happens?
I don't know. I just need to maybe read so much and get my mind space in a position where I can deal with that. Yeah.
Interesting. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you see yourself as like the head of the family, as
Yeah, I want to be the head. I want to lead, definitely. But also, I want to add immense value to like my partner.
Okay.
Part of the reason I have a studio is because I want to design someone in that life, just be a part of that world.
How do you picture your partner? What are the things that you would probably admire from your future partner? What value does she bring to you? Dare I say value? Dare I say, what does she bring to that table? Dare I use those words? First of all, let me tell you something. When someone says, what do you bring to the table? I'm out of that conversation because, honey, I'm out. I never ever talk about that. So forgive me for asking that. That was just a by the way that I wanted to do. But no, what value do you think you would want what are the things that you would want in a future partner?
They should be able to think along the things I'm doing and to contribute to that, really.
Along the things that you're doing. So you want someone who doesn't have their own...
No. So I told you I want to like add value to...
Okay, to them.
That's one thing. So whatever they are on to, support their dreams. Like that's the other definition of love. I feel like.
Okay.
So that's what I want to tell you by sacrifice. So sacrifice part of what you want to achieve just for that person to achieve theirs, and that gives you happiness. So that's one. I want to like contribute to that so heavily. But then even them, they should be in position to contribute to my life.
How?
Like we should have bedroom conversations, and they make sense to me before I leave the bedroom.
How? What? Like what?
I want to date an actress.
Oh! Oh my gosh, I'm screaming! Oh my God, help me. Yeah. Please, Jesus.
So I shoot movies with them. I help them tell their stories. So the tagline for this company is only humans tell stories.
Okay.
So because we believe there's all this technology coming and what, but still it has to be one human to tell their story. So I want to help people. Just like I want to help people tell their stories, I want to help my friends.
So you're okay seeing your actress wife kiss someone on the screen and you're the producer?
Okay.
Or have sex with someone. Of course it's not real sex.
Real though?
No, it's
in
not.
The acting?
But you've watched my movie. You saw the...
Yeah.
My hope God... I lied to my mom. I said the film is not here. Like she hasn't watched it. Anyway, that's it.
Oh no, she has to watch it.
I know, but I'm just like, I need, I need to build up.
Why are you dating when you're shooting that?
I'm always dating, honey.
How did your partner feel?
I'm always dating. That means...
They left and...
No, they didn't.
That means you're not committed.
No, we're not in a relationship. That's different.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm taken out on dates. I'm... courted or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Okay. But
yeah, like value really, companionship is really interesting, but the sex should also be great.
Oh,
it's a big plus to
I agree.
The whole thing. Yeah,
I agree. Okay, wait, so we're still talking about your wife or your partner. probably your wife, you know, having to act out a sex scene on screen and you're the producer. And you want the film to work. The film has to work. It has to look real.
I would let it work. I'd pretend I'm watching a porno.
Damn. Look at this guy.
The whole time I'll just pretend I'm watching a porno.
No, but I think I compartmentalize things. So for me, when I was on set, for example, doing like I had to kiss that guy on set, it wasn't awkward at all. It wasn't weird. I was just like, it was disgusting, but it was like, okay, I have to kiss this guy. But it was very professional, you know. And also on set, we had what they call a movement coach or a sex coach. So they were like, just put your lips like this and hold the face like this, and it felt very mechanical in a sense. It's just like you can't really like say, okay, you know, like okay, it felt really mechanical, and there was no juice, I guess, to it. So it was nothing. But yeah.
But then how would you feel if you are in like a committed relationship and you have to push the biggest movie like that when your parts include sex?
I don't think I would feel anything, because that's part of the professionalism that comes with the job. Like the thing is, you have to be on set for you to like understand how it works. Like when you're on set, you're just like, wow, this is nothing. Like I feel nothing, absolutely nothing. Yeah, but because it's in the moment at the set, right? Not even that. It's like, okay, so it goes, I'll give you a sample. It goes action, and then you slide your leg down. Cut. Aamito, you need to slide your leg towards the left. So okay, start again. Action, and then you slide your leg down. And cut. No, it's like a little bit closer. Like it's like that.
No emotion there.
No freaking emotion. Yeah. So by the time you get the shot, it's just like, oh gosh, this is exhausting. Like this is not how it's supposed to work. But yeah, it's not like something you just pull out of thin air and think about. Like you practice a dance together, and you're quite comfortable.
Yeah, to me that would be support, whatever is there.
Yeah, I like that. You're open-minded. That's cool.
A lot. That's why I have a podcast. So I used to put my opinion so much on Twitter and get backlash of people misinterpreting. Then I started having conversations with people, and I started appreciating that.
Oh, I love
more
that.
than the talking. Yeah,
I love that. Twitter can be a little bit toxic, in my opinion.
How do you handle social media then?
And
feedback, by the way. Feedback in general.
So sometimes I like feedback. I really do like constructive criticism, because I think that's how you can grow and become a better person. But also, like sometimes you can know when somebody's not giving you constructive criticism. It's very cynical. It's very sarcastic. It's not like helpful at all. And so I'm petty, so I answer back sometimes. When I have time and I'm laying in my bed and you say something nasty on my Facebook or Twitter, I have time. I will answer you back. Like, don't be fooled. But sometimes I'll just ignore, 'cause it doesn't matter, or if I'm busy or whatever. Yeah. Sometimes they're hurtful.
But you also dealt with a lot of bullying, right?
Yeah, they're hurtful comments.
They're
hurtful comments.
But now it should be like,
okay, I'll tell you. I think it was in 2016 when a picture of my lips hit the internet. And I woke up one morning, I think it was during Fashion Week in Milan, and I woke up one morning and everyone had tagged me in this picture that Mac had posted. And so this white woman had said, oh, lips like Jay-Z or something like that. And there was just a whole like internet, like if you Google Aamito Lagum lips, Mark cosmetic lips, or Aamito lips, whatever, you kind of see like the comments, and it caused a wildfire actually. And some of the comments were really racist. They were really mean and just like uncalled for. But also I got like really positive reaffirmations. Lots of black women, even non-black women. Like I got lots of media reaching out, including New York Times wrote a story about it, and they were supportive, like, whatever. So I think for every backlash that you get, there is a positive reaffirmation that comes with it. And so it's just like, sorry, it nullifies whatever you're trying to say. But I love constructive criticism. Yeah.
For now, like the acting, did you just get that from the people on set, or you get like friends who tell you, nah, this scene here.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a couple. I've done like 3, but they're not out, and I'm not at liberty to talk about them. But for the one that I've done, nobody has really said anything because my part was really small. However, I did.
And you nailed it.
Yeah, I had an acting coach, and I hope I continue to develop my skill in that area.
Speaking of which, are you involved in like the production? Do you understand the camera work? Like I saw you.
No.
So you minded so much of how you look in the camera.
Absolutely.
But this is because you're a model. But do you understand the camera?
I do.
And all that stuff?
I do understand the basics. I do understand the basics of lighting because that's my job. Like I'm always in front of a camera and whatnot. I understand the basics of it all. Yeah.
And the direction of movies, do you feel like you can direct a movie?
I think so. If given a chance. Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
No,
I
you
think
don't have a studio.
I think it's time, I think if there's an opportunity, I would absolutely be down to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I have a studio.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I love this podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like a conversation.
Yeah, it's big conversations.
How many girlfriends have you had?
How many girlfriends have I had?
Yeah.
Like from birth?
Whatever you want to tell me. Yeah.
So the ones I take very serious were like
only serious.
Yeah. I think 3.
What have you learned from those interactions or relationships or whatever?
One, you have to be really yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's 2 problems with all those 3 relationships.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The women have been slightly older than I am. By about a year or 2. Yeah, but which is this one?
Sugar mommy. Love that for you.
So, yeah.
So wait, so the women, all of them or just the 2 of them? The women have been older?
It's the 2 of them. The one was younger. Yeah, but she was my actual age.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, but Vankusha, and he was kind of like older than me. Vankusha, it was a vibe, like we're almost the same people, but not the same people. Oh. So it was on a path and a vibe. Then I think she had to like get serious to life. And I was like, oh no, this is like the commitment.
Right.
Not yet ready, not yet there.
Right.
Yeah, but learning from them is just to be yourself. I think I've learned something really people neglect here. I think I pick it from my family. I feel like you're supposed to disclose your finances to your woman if you want to win.
Finances, yes. I love that.
But then it's tricky,
Why is it tricky?
Because what happens if
they don't like what they hear?
Okay, yeah, there's that.
But
if they feel like you're not doing enough.
Well, if they don't like what they hear, I think honesty is the best policy all the time. Like, honesty is the best policy. And so if you disclose your finances to whoever you're dating or to whoever you're in a relationship with, because dating and a relationship, I think, are 2 different things, right? Yeah, so if you don't disclose your finances and they say no, it's better they say no earlier on than later on in life, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe
too.
that. Yeah, but just the thought of, when you're living with someone, you want to live with them forever. So you want to hide away everything that can jeopardize that.
So you want to first wait for them to fall in love with you before you can disclose the ugly parts of yourself.
You'll be like, okay, this is
That's
what you sign
horrible. That's the same story of this football guy who made his mom sign. You've heard that story, right? Yeah. That's
what
not
do you think about that?
I don't like that story.
But then that is. Have you seen a list of footballers whose wives took everything? Haven't you seen that?
I have seen a list of things but also, oh my gosh, I really didn't want to get involved in this story. I didn't. Because if you decide to get married to someone, usually women in marriages, in partnerships, get the lesser tail of the stick. Usually, right? They get the least part. So these women who have taken everything, and I'm not agreeing with what they've done, and this is why I strongly believe in prenups. I don't think we have that available.
I don't think
in Uganda, right? But I strongly believe in prenups because Honesty, like I said, honesty is the best policy. Like, if in case we are to break up, this is what we could do. This is what could happen. If you don't agree with that, don't get married. You know, don't get married. I think that was lying from right off the bat, and it's just not a strong partnership. And I don't want that for myself. God forbid. Ew. Knock on wood.
How many people have you dated?
No, I date a lot of people, but I've been in a relationship with 2 people.
From school, do you count the guys, the people
No,
you've never had a relationship in IUCU?
No, I was a single girl. I was a city girl at UCU. I was just dating.
The whole time?
The whole time. No relationships.
Okay.
My criteria, I'm very strict.
Yeah.
I'm very strict with my criteria of who I actually choose to be in a serious relationship with.
What are those things?
I cannot tell you that. Because then you can mold yourself to be that person, and we cannot have that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's why I multiple date, you know.
To just see it in someone.
Yeah, to just find out, to observe. I observe what you do, how you are. I don't tell you what to do. I don't tell you what to give me or whatever. I just observe. And so then I cross or I
tick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
No,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Are we done?
I think.
Yeah.
Unless you have something else.
Okay. Give me another question. I want to ask you. Would you marry a woman with more money than you? Have a family? Since you said you don't want to.
I wish for that.
Really? Why? Tell me why.
Because then it would save me so much.
Why? Why do you think it's okay for a woman to provide for you with this?
No, I don't want to provide for me. Like, see, naturally, yeah? Mm-hmm. I come from a family where you have to work. That's all we've seen our dad do.
Who, the men have to work or the women?
Yeah. Actually, everyone for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom, her background, what I hear from people when they talk to me about my mom passed on as lawyers.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But I grew up with a mom, right? So, the background of her is still extreme hard work. She was a housewife. She used to do sweaters. She had chicken. And my sisters have kept that up to now, right? The boys and the men, you have to, like, with our dad, you don't stay in the bed after 7. He'll tell you, go and watch the news, go and see what's happening on Al Jazeera rather than being in your bed. Like, that's the mentality. So I'll cover the basics for myself. Like, I know that. Yeah, but then when you have a woman who's richer than you, it's comfort. Yeah, like.
How?
I mean, she has money and you don't have to struggle that much on impressing her.
By the way, you're paying for the date. The one you're taking.
Yes. Cool. Let me do that date. Don't tell me what to do for that date. Let me do that date myself.
I'm sorry. I need to be sure.
That Mekan lost. At some time he was the community standard of being rich to then not being rich to that level.
I understand that.
But when your partner has more money than you, so it increases your chances of actually not falling back to the grass you started from. So it's a win-win situation for you. Because you're still a man. Like, my mantra is to work. You still need to work. So if you meet someone who is already there, maybe, yeah.
I love this for you. I really do.
Yeah, that's it.
No, I really do love this for you. Honestly, I believe in being a kept woman. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. Taken care of. Baby.
Absolutely.
I'm going to make a lot of money.
Absolutely nothing. Nothing. I bring nothing to the table except another man. Anyway, I'm kidding.